I hate to bring this up, it might be embarrassing, but Janet does have history with your husband.
Really? I was going to say, I don't know how. Colleen, having met your husband recently, I don't know how she stayed off the subject for more than 2 minutes. But I met your husband before you did.
Oh, cool!
I think I did.
All right.
Back in 1990, I was a BBC executive and I was in charge of programmes for young people. And I went to the Cannes Television Festival and they'd made one episode of Fresh Prince for NBC. And I saw it and I fell in love with the character, and obviously your husband was fantastic in it. And they had the English butler.
Right,
Jeffrey, who came actually from the Royal Shakespeare Company.
Right.
And so I bought it for the BBC and I went out to Hollywood and met Will and went to the I think one of the first episodes that they recorded, and it was so exciting.
Oh, wow.
I think then it was like the reaction to your film now, the whole audience, because they know recording those studio shows can be really stuffy.
Right.
And they were right with it.
Yes.
And then when Will did all the stuff like wearing his clothes inside out, I mean, now people think, oh, street fashion, but that was
yes, it was ahead of its time at that particular point, definitely.
Yeah, and you and Will have been together, is it 20 years you've been married?
It will be, yes, we celebrate 20 this year.
Wow. In the industry itself, I mean, that's just incredible.
Shoot, it's incredible no matter if you're in the industry, and it doesn't matter. 20 years for anybody is incredible.
No, I know. What's the secret? I can say, what's the secret?
You know, I think it's just friendship. I think you really have to be friends. And I think that you also have to be able to go off and find your own happiness. You need two people that are willing to come together as happy people, and then you together in your partnership can heighten the happiness.
You work hard at it.
Of course.
It's because I would
the hardest thing you'll ever do is being married. 20
years, you must have had to have put so much into it, and it looks like a breeze in front of the cameras and stuff. But what is it like in real?
No, it's like how it is for everyone.
You're very open
very
about it all. I mean, you've talked about how you've had counselling, you know, marriage guidance counselling, and that's fantastic to hear from someone like you and Will. And you think that does help?
I think that it can be an awesome entry point as far as getting to where you need to go. But I think ultimately two people have to go their separate ways and figure out, you have to deal with your own personal traumas. We all come into all kinds of relationships, marriages, friendships, with our own personal traumas, our childhood traumas or what have you. And with that comes all of these expectations that you expect your partner to fill all these voids for you. And you really have to learn to do those yourself. So I really think that it takes a lot of work separately, honestly.
Yeah.
In order to have a good union.
That comes back to what we were talking about earlier, about finding your identity.
Yes.
Because what I was trying to say to them, well, I haven't had children. I've had stepchildren, and I've been married many times, but I think...
You've been married many times?
How many times? 4 times.
My mother's on her 4th marriage. Okay.
What I think is so interesting, what you say, is you're completely right that you have to like yourself and know your strengths and weaknesses before you can relate to somebody else.
Absolutely, and expecting someone else to make you feel a certain way is just, it doesn't work. You have to really come into your partnership with a strong sense of self and your joy and your happiness, because really a partnership is about sharing joy and happiness. You know, so if all we have is sorrow and despair and loneliness within our hearts, then that's what we're creating together.
And your children are obviously very successful in their own right too.
Yes.
But you seem to keep it all together as a family.
Absolutely.
You sit and discuss all of that as a family as well.
Absolutely. You know, I really believe as parents and as a family, you have, and especially living in the world that we live in, you have to be very real. And it's part of my personal belief in helping to rear your children in a way in which they can have strong understanding of what it takes to be happy in this place.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Have Will and the children seen the film now? Did they
Not
like
yet.
It? No?
Not yet. They will, though. They will.
Do your children really challenge you? Does their behaviour challenge you?
You know what? Not really. They don't challenge me in the sense of like how I probably challenged my mother. because we have a much different relationship. We have a very open relationship, and I respect my children as much as they respect me. There's a lot of respect and consideration in our relationship, so there's not a lot of strife, and there's a lot of understanding between us, you know, so we have a really beautiful rapport.
You put out a very cryptic tweet last night, because we have been stalking you.
Oh, okay. What cryptic
It
tweet?
said the people you love the most will inevitably devastate you.
Oh, yeah, but I also, did you get the
Yeah,
second
and
tweet?
then the second tweet says, but do not fret, you are simply being given the opportunity to know what it means to truly love.
That's right. So that was really a tweet from having talked to a friend of mine who's going through a really difficult time in her relationship right now. And she's only been married for about 5 years. So speaking to someone who's been married for 20.
Yeah.
You know, it was, in talking to her, I really got inspired to share that, because I think that when people go through tough times in their relationships, you have to realize that it's a time for learning. You know what I'm saying? And it's a time to find the giant within you to become more. And really, that's what relationships are about. We will be challenged in the most extreme ways, in ways you could never imagine.
Oh, I need you to move in with